And speaking of impacting the community, recently Oakland County recognized local Black West Bloomfield residents and business owners as Black Excellence Award winners. And joining us here today, West Bloomfield resident and business owner, we have Christian J. Williams joining us on the show.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
How you doing, Christian? Thank you so much for joining us here on the Splash Live. We appreciate you taking time. You just recently received this award from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. First of all, congratulations. I want to say congratulations. Now, can you tell us what this recognition means to you and how it reflects your commitment?
You know, it's definitely very humbling, and I'm very honored to receive the award. I started my business in 2018, actually, October 2018. So this year will make 6 years. Had no idea that I would, be getting the shine that I'm getting today. It really just started as something for me to kind of help my friends, and it just blew up to be something that it started spanning nationwide. So it just feels good that people are appreciative of my work and recognizing me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the honorees were chosen ultimately for the notable achievements and strides that they've making, the impacts that they made in their community and just outside the community, just the huge impacts. How you believe initiatives like this contribute to raising awareness about the achievements of Black individuals in the greater West Bloomfield area?
I think they're really important because, there was a press release that went out. So, of course, these things go across multiple news outlets, which is, I guess, how you found me. So I think that that's really important that, we are highlighted. And, of course, Black people are a minority in West Bloomfield, in Farmington Hills, and in a lot of these suburbs. So it's good to see, for people to just see that we're doing big things in our community, where we're changing the lives of others, and, we're here to stay.
Yeah, so we actually did see that you were recognized, and we actually have the video of you actually getting your flowers for all the work that you've done at the recent Oakland County Board of Commissioners meeting, and we're actually going to check that out right now.
Mr. Williams has been revolutionary in the career services field. In October 2018, he launched CJW Consulting Group, an entrepreneurial endeavor and full-scale professional development business that offers consulting for resume development, cover letters, LinkedIn optimization, which I could use, and interview coaching. From right here in Oakland County, his firm has helped people across the country.
Christian J. Williams of CJW Consulting Group and West Bloomfield resident joining us here as he received the Black Excellent Award recognition from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Can you just briefly talk a little bit more about the CJW Consulting Group, what it does, please?
Yes. So actually what I do is I help clients across all industries: healthcare, engineering, supply chain, automotive, whatever you can think of. And I help clients with their resumes, their interview prep, their LinkedIn, their salary negotiations. I've even helped with personal statements to get into graduate school. I've had clients accepted into Northwestern, U of M, UMass. So that's the high level. And I help people of all races, genders, everything. But I do have a large African American footprint because I'm African American. I'm in a Black fraternity, so I have a lot of Black clients. And so it's really been good because I've been able, unfortunately, we're behind due to a lot of, historical reasons, barriers, we're behind. And so it's really good that I can coach people and help them to gain promotions and to secure roles and get pay increases where a lot of times they didn't even think they were eligible for it. They thought, oh, I don't think I qualify for this role. I consult with them within 2.5 hours, and they're like, wow, I really am qualified, but I wasn't selling myself in the right way, or, I didn't have the confidence to apply for that manager job, so then people leave me and they're securing new roles. They're getting promoted, have an average salary increase of about $26,000 after, you leave me. So it's really been rewarding to know that I've been able to help people and quantify the impact as well. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. I love to hear that you're doing that also. And if I'm not mistaken, I see that you advocate for minority and women-owned businesses at the Henry Ford Health System Hospital. Can you just talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so I actually just started that role 3 months ago. And I was doing my business for about 5 years, just independently. And more recently, I just kind of felt like it was time for a little bit of a shift and thought, okay, I kind of want to do something a little different, still do that, but do it on the side. And came across this role. And this is the first role I saw where I said, I would be disappointed if I don't get this job. I actually really wanted this job. And 3 days later, got a call back, and here I am. And so, what I do there is I work in supplier diversity. So, it's my job to essentially any organization has to procure things to run. And it's
Right.
my job to ensure that in that supply chain, we're advocating for and sourcing minority businesses, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, et cetera. And it's really important because there's a lot of barriers. We can't just source things to the multi-billion-dollar conglomerates. You have
Right.
to support your local community. I'm excuse me. I work in Detroit in the city, and so there's so many local businesses and black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and even expanding into the greater metro area. And so we have to give them a seat at the table and make sure that they're able to bid, and that they're aware of the opportunities. And so we go into the community. I was just at an event yesterday. We go into the community where we find different vendors, and
Right.
so that's where my role comes into play. When a sourcing opportunity comes up, I go into my databases and I use the connections I've made, and I say, oh, okay, yeah, we have a diverse baker. I don't know, we need cookies for an event, or whatever it may be. And so we bid these opportunities out. Now, of course, can't guarantee that they're going to get sourced, but the intent is just that we at least are making sure they're aware that they're bidding. And if they don't submit a bid, well, why aren't they submitting a bid? Was there some type of barrier that stopped them from submitting a bid? And hey, you may not get the first
Mm.
opportunity that that your bid, but at the same time, you learn from that. Okay, where was I uncompetitive at? Is it my labor cost, or is it the capacity? So it helps you prepare for a next opportunity.
I love to hear that, Christian J. Williams of the CJW Consulting Group and recent recipient of the Black Excellent Award from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, which this is only the third year that they've presented these awards, by the way. So you're in a
Yeah,
very unique class also.
yeah.
And not only did you get that award, you also received multiple awards. You were recognized under Michigan Chronicles 40 Under 40 for your outstanding achievements and contributions. Can you talk about how you plan to leverage your platform with all these awards and recognition to inspire and mentor others?
I really want to do more events. More recently, I actually had an event at Henry Ford College, and that was my largest event today. And in that platform, I was able to speak to about 100 first generation college students, and they
Mm.
had me come in. It was like an all-day conference basically, and I did them in groups of 3. And I was able to talk to them about, give them career advice, give them, firsthand knowledge, give them resume tips. They brought their resumes, printed out copies so I could, pretty much mark them up and say, hey, let's add more of this. Let's talk more about this. Let's move this up, cut this out. Nobody cares about this. Let's dig deeper into that. And so that was really where I almost felt like a professor. I was like in this big lecture hall talking to all these students, and I was like, wow, I never thought I would be here. So I really want to continue to do things like that, more event based. Right now, I have a lot of one-on-one clients, which is fine. I probably will never just stop that, but I would like to expand and do even more workshops and more events, whether it's virtual, in person, or both. So that's really my next kind of steps for my platform.
Got you. Well, I do love, the fact that you said you do have, you open your services to people of all races. It's just
Yeah,
not minorities. It's just not women. It's all
absolutely.
races. But at the
Absolutely.
same time, going back to the root of the issue, why do you feel most minority or women are not getting the advantages or getting, on the same level playing field as other people?
Well, there's a lot of systemic, as we know, you and I both are Black men. We know there's a lot of systemic racism. I mean, studies, and sometimes there's a few things, even with my clients, studies show that 70% of women do not negotiate their salaries. So sometimes it's just in that number, if you were to isolate that to Black women, I think that number would be higher. Us as
Mhm.
Black people, Hispanics, in general, we don't negotiate. Sometimes we have this inferiority complex that we're just so grateful to be in the room, and oh, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. We don't negotiate, and it's like, no, no, no.
Right.
It's not. It shouldn't be that way. You should be. You're there because you deserve to be there. You earned your spot. You got your credentials. you're not, you don't owe people anything because you got this opportunity. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's a two-way street. Yes, you're grateful to have the opportunity, and they benefit from having you as well. And then, so simply, we just don't ask for it. And then there's systemic racism. Recently I had a client, and she told me she worked in HR at a major company. She told me that they used to recruit at, PWIs, predominantly white institutions, and then HBCUs. She said when they would recruit at the HBCU, at the PWIs, they'd offer the new grads 75,000. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there. And she said when they would go to the HBCU, they would offer them $55,000. And she said, she asked her manager, why are we offering them $20,000 less? Then she said, because they'll take it. And that's the problem, is you're perpetuating systemic racism, you're perpetuating pay inequities. And unfortunately, they took advantage of them because they know that, especially back then, 55, 60K, that was a lot of money coming out of school. A lot of those people were first generation college graduates. They didn't know people who were making 55, 60K. So they graduated like, yeah, I'll take it. And so, it just, that's why I tell people, firstly, don't ever accept the first offer you get, but those are just a few of the reasons why we're behind. We don't negotiate. We're afraid to negotiate. Then there's systemic, racism that perpetuates inequities like that. And this is not something new. It's been going on, I mean, for our lifetimes and long before it. So, I mean, and that's why I come in to advocate for people. When you have these consultations, I'm like, listen, you have to negotiate. You're making how much? You're underpaid. Just because someone offers you 75 and you're making 55 now does not mean that you take that first offer, because you might can get 80 to 85. I mean, so always negotiate. So that's where it comes into play, in which it just fuels me, because when I get to have these clients and they're coming back like, Christian, I got this new job. I'm making 30K more. I got a sign-on bonus. I got stock options. I had better PTO. I had a client that got a new job. He's upgrading his wife's ring. They got a new place. I was like, wait a minute, bro, you owe me some money. He's like, so yeah.
That's great that you are actually like turning people's lives over, turning a new leaf over in people's lives and changing their lives and helping them upgrade their lives and their lifestyles. That's the effect of getting the resources to help you survive and thrive in the workforce, as well as just in the entrepreneurial field also.
Yes.
We already know that you're doing the work, Christian, but how about other people? What can the community, what can West Bloomfield do a little bit more to kind of help Black residents and or encourage Black business owners?
That's a good question. I think it's about resources. You really do have to provide people with adequate resources. And I don't have a brick and mortar location, so I'm not exactly sure what, excuse me, what other, barriers people have faced. But I will say this: I don't see a lot of Black businesses in West Bloomfield. However, we have at the same time, we've come a long way. There was it recently closed, but there was a sneaker store on Orchard Lake and between Maple and 14. There's like the first Black owned salon, also over there, Deportier. So there's, we've got brunch on Northwestern and Orchard Lake. So I do see that they are making some strides. So that's good to see. But I do think that it's just about resources, providing people with adequate resources. And hey, whether even city contracts, West Bloomfield needs, work done, whether it's construction, whether it's renovation, whether it's, event planning, that, you're making sure that people have visibility to those events. And then they can bid for them. I think that's a big thing. I went recently to it was a passport to procurement conference. I think it was put on by the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation or something, one of those. And so they had a representative from the city actually giving business owners the breakdown of how to get a city contract and how to make sure in their system. Make sure you do this. Do not skip filling this out or you're going to be disqualified. So I do think you have to, make sure people are aware of those resources in order for them to, to succeed. So.
Right, right. I love that. So ultimately, not only make the resources available, but let people know that the
Hmm.
resources are
Hmm.
available. Great way to land that right there. Christian J. Williams of the CJW Consulting Group, also West Bloomfield resident and recent recipient of the Black Excellent Award from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much again for joining us this morning, Christian.
Thank you for having me.